Good afternoon, Sue.
Hi, Paul.
This is, if anyone who doesn't know, this is Sue Langford, aka Sue Boardwalk.
Yeah. It wasn't my middle name. That's what my name was. If I was
Yeah.
on a guest list going anywhere, it just said Sue Boardwalk.
Yeah.
So, in fact, I think John Robb never knew what my name was, and I think he still calls me Sue Boardwalk.
Does it? you, you were working at a bar, weren't you, before you started the Boardwalk?
Well, I got a job working at the Boardwalk bar.
Yeah.
I've been doing all sorts of crap jobs, and I ended up working at the Boardwalk. I went there, started full time. I'd been working on the bar at the Boardwalk,
Yeah.
and I was also singing in a band that rehearsed in the basement.
Oh, you're in a band?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd quite often end up waiting for the lads, and I'd sit in the office with Maria, who ran it then, and there was like this, you came down the steps and there was like an open window thing with bars across it, and that was Maria's office, and I'd sit in there and chat with her and blah blah. So when she left, because I'd spent so much time sat in there, I kind of knew how everything worked. So they were just like, well, do you want this job? And I was like, yeah. So that was it. And then I was really lucky because I was obviously reasonably capable, and they let me do more and let me make decisions and progress. So I quite quickly got to the point where I was booking the bands and la la la.
What year was that?
Oh God, 1987.
When did it open?
86.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
86 in the summer, and James played on the opening night. I worked there from probably the autumn, and then I started working full time in the February 87, or was it 86? Anyway, quite a while ago.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know James played the opening night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they rehearsed there for quite a long time.
Was it open as a rehearsal room for ages before that?
Quite a while, yeah, because I'd rehearsed there with a previous band on what became the stage, because originally it had been an old Victorian school, and then it was turned into like a bit of a strip club, and there was
That was a strip club?
Yeah.
Boardwalk?
Yeah. So you walked up the stairs, and it was just one layer, one floor, and that's how it was open for quite a while.
Yeah.
And we only opened the upstairs balcony at a later date. And so you went in, and there was like cinema seating going up the back, and a like pretty shabby stage. So I'd rehearsed there, and then I ended up singing with a band that my boss Colin was managing.
Yeah.
They'd lost the singer, and I ended up doing some work with them, hence being in the rehearsal rooms. So I was working behind the bar as well, and then started full time. I'm pretty sure it was February 87 that I started full time there.
What was the first band you booked? Can you remember?
Oh Christ!
Or can you remember like your first big band?
Oh God! See, I'm notable bands that I booked, because I booked them a few times.
Yeah.
The Brilliant Corners.
Oh God, I forgot about them.
There was a few. I mean, Dave Haslam used to book quite a few of the gigs and sort of hire the venue and put gigs on. But we did quite a lot of local band nights as well. And because my boss Colin was he managed bands, it was quite important to keep having this going on, like local band nights. You'd put 3 bands on. They'd have a professional PA, a sound engineer, a proper stage, and nobody had to pay to play. You were given a load of tickets. You'd sell the tickets to your mates, and then on the night it would be like take the VAT off the top, and then it's split half and half.
Yeah.
So there was plenty of nights where we made a massive loss.
Yeah.
And there was plenty of nights where, like, Northside did one of those nights for their first ever gig.
Yeah.
Sold it out.
Yeah.
And it was like, whoa, who are these? And they were great, but yeah, that was how that worked. So I was doing a lot of those, but then talking to agents and booking in all sorts. I remember booking in Roachford randomly.
Oh wow, yeah.
We had Deacon Blue at some point. The Proclaimers came in. That was an early gig. They were on a Friday night, and then All About Eve were on the Saturday, because I worked the Friday and the Saturday. I was absolutely knackered after, because it was 2 sold out nights. Oh crikey, I'm trying to remember. There was a lot of the sort of what they called the C86 bands that came in, the Chesterfields, the Pastels.
That was a cassette one at that C86.
But Dave was big friends. Dave Haslam was big friends with Stephen Pastel, so he always used to book them. But there was quite a few agents that I used to end up yakking with, because they'd ring up and say like, "Oh, have you got any decent demo tapes coming in?" So it was quite a laugh. But it feels like such a long time ago now. I mean, it was a long time ago now.
Was there anywhere else in the city centre for bands?
Not really like that. No, I mean at the time there was a few other sort of clubs, but not really live music venues. I mean, I can remember the Venue used to do band nights.
They have bands on.
Yeah, on Whitworth Street West, sort of just down the road from the house. That was slightly smaller than the Boardwalk, I think. There was a few places like there was a place called the Gallery. There was
R.E.M. played there, didn't they?
God, did they?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
And there was another place just I can't remember. It was near where Boots is, but just on a little back street, because I played there.
Corbier's.
Maybe Corbier's. I remember Corbier. In fact, we put because my boss managed a band from Wigan called the Railway Children. We did a night with them.
Yeah, I remember them.
When they just first, I think it was when they first got the deal with the publishing deal with 10 Music, which was a subsidiary of Virgin. Yeah. So they did a night there. I think we had Happy Mondays on a support. But yeah, so it was interesting, because I'd either be booking the bands in the office during the day and you know, doing the beer orders and beer deliveries and stuff like that, and running the rehearsal studios, or running the club at night. Quite often it was a bit of both, because you'd do what was supposed to be a split shift. You'd just be there all bloody day, really. So yeah, it was full on, but it was really interesting. I met some amazing people. I mean, I was 22, 23 when I started working there. And I said, you come down the stairs and there's this little open window with the grill there. So Nico would come down there.
Nico?
Yeah. So I'm like 22, 23, and sitting there, and Nico would suddenly appear like, "May I use the telephone?" And I'd be like, I mean, it was a payphone. It wasn't like I was doing her a favour.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking Nico.
Wow.
So yeah, and it was quite funny, because I mean, I make no bones. I'm very middle class. Had a very middle class upbringing. My dad was a pilot. You know, la la la. I grew up in Gloucestershire in the leafy Cotswolds. And it all sounds very posh. And then suddenly I'm sort of moving in these circles, and it all had come about because I got into bands and singing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I wasn't ever really quite good enough to do anything with my singing. So it kind of just ended up doing the other side of the stage, so back of house kind of stuff. And I really enjoyed it, and I had spent very nearly 10 years at the Boardwalk, and I had a right laugh. It was bloody hard work. There was tears sometimes. It was ups and downs, but and marigolds on to unblock the gents' toilet. So yeah, but there was plenty of bonkers times where you're just like, bloody hell, did that just happen?
You met Courtney Love, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. So whole support. I think they supported therapy. So it was. I think it was an SJM gig, or it was whoever was promoting it. I think it might have been. I think we might have had the TV cameras in for it. Anyway, there was the headline band, Whole as a support band, and they'd been touring for a while. So I was in the office doing settlement, and Courtney came up. She needed to use the phone, and she wanted to do a collect call to, whatever. So I'm like, oh yeah, here you go. and then there's doorman coming in and bar stuff going on and promoter coming in and out, and it was all a bit like. So she kind of just took the phone and like crawled under my desk. So Courtney Love's curled up on the floor at my feet, and she's on the phone to Kurt Cobain.
Wow.
And I didn't know who she was ringing, but then I sort of like, you know, heard a little bit, and they were talking about her grandma had a couch they could have. So they were obviously like sort of just about to move into their first home together, and I was like, oh, quite cute. But all this like mayhem going on, and she's curled up at my feet. Yeah, so that was a nice little memory. She was quite sweet, actually.
Yeah. I remember, I think everyone knows down at Oasis practice there.
Yeah.
But I remember like there was a buzz about the clubs. People were saying like, oh, there's a band at the moment, Oasis, like they're practicing in the Boardwalk. It's crazy how big they got.
Oh God, yeah. Well, I mean, we had all sorts of bands rehearsing, and I mean, like I mentioned, Nico rehearsed there.
Yeah.
The Four rehearsed there. The Dooleys.
The Dooleys?
Like, yeah. Proper like, you know, sort of North Manchester cabaret band. They rehearse there quite often.
Yeah.
They'd sort of book it out for a couple of months or something. So, yeah. Who else do we have? The Bodines, Happy Mondays, A Certain Ratio, Jazz Defectors, Tot, Inca Babies, Flea, James. Oh my God, all sorts.
My mate's band
coming through.
My mate's band used to play there a lot. John Delph knew someone who did bookings, or he knew someone there, and he got on a lot, and the gigs were always empty. But then one night they supported PJ Harvey.
Oh.
And there was a massive queue to get in.
Yeah.
And Tim Booth was there watching it.
Brilliant.
But so many bands went through there. Like Kate said that on her Roadhouse video that you either went through the Boardwalk or you went through the Roadhouse in Manchester.
Yeah, I think the Roadhouse opened slightly later than the Boardwalk, but not that much.
Yeah.
But yeah, just going back to Oasis, so in Spiral Carpets used, there was, all the rehearsal rooms were in the basement.
Yeah.
But after we'd extended the upstairs, there was like a little sort of a room upstairs that was like, you had to sort of go up all this and then come down into it, and it was literally above my office.
Yeah.
Because by that point my office was upstairs. So, and there was like a second room. So we'd turned this into like a little bit of a studio, demo studio for the Railway Children. So they rehearsed in there, and that's where they stored the gear, and they had this little separate bit for the desk and stuff, blah, blah, blah. So when they weren't using it, in Spiral Carpets used to use it. And I remember Noel coming into the office and asking if we had any rehearsal rooms free, because he was, you know, obviously going to get some band together. So I was like, well, if the girls will agree, you can share with Tot. So that was Debbie Ellis and Rachel, and I can't remember who but there was three of them anyway. Yeah. But it was them that had the gig at Glasgow King Tut's. Yeah. And Oasis went up with them and sort of blagged onto the stage before Tot, I think. Yeah. And that was when Alan saw them and signed them on the spot, apparently. So, yeah.
God, that's real history, that, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's... because after a while, because the rehearsal rooms were only open at certain times, and it wasn't really terribly helpful. If you'd just been doing a gig and you'd stayed in London, you needed to get your van back and get the gear in and get the van back to the van hire place. You didn't really want to wait until 5 o'clock in the evening on a Saturday, so whatever time we opened. So I didn't do it for everyone, but there was a few bands that I did it for, and if they were, you know, like working a lot, I'd say, well, give me a ring when you come off the M6 and just let me know and I'll come down and let you in. And to this day, whenever, there must have been a couple of times when I'd been having a bath at home and I was cleaning the bath out and the phone rang, because quite often now when I'm cleaning the bath, I think about Oasis. And it would have been Noel on the phone, like, oh, we're just nearly back. Oh, right, see you down there. So I used to go and let them in. And I can't remember who else I did that for. But there was a couple of bands that I used to, just help out. But, yeah, it's nice to be nice, isn't it?
Yeah. Did you have a favourite band that you...
Oh, blimey. Well, what was nice about the Boardwalk, because in the basement where the rehearsal rooms were, there was like this awful vending machine that did like hot drinks and soup and like, vending machine gravy, let's call it. And there was a pool table there, and and people used to hang out, and there were all quite a lot of little, working together things. So that's why there was Sean Ryder does a bit of a rap on one of the ACR tracks, and then there was somebody else worked with somebody else, and then somebody else worked with somebody else, and there were all these little collabs going on because people were socialising, and it was really, really nice atmosphere down there. Yeah. It wasn't like, oh, we're better than you. It was, and genuinely it felt like, if somebody had a bit of success, somebody got a publishing deal or something, and everyone would be really pleased for them. Yeah. And it wasn't like, snide at all. It was just really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing I love about the Manchester scene is that, like, everyone's equal.
Yeah, everyone knew everyone, and everyone mostly got on, and there'd be the occasional, but it was nice. Yeah. Really nice.
It was mad that it turned into a nightclub on it, like.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that was when we opened the upstairs. That was when Dave Haslam came along and he proposed to my boss. He put a proposal to my boss, like, well, we'll do the club night, la la la. Yeah. And so I want to say it was my idea when we were planning this. It was like, how do we get the agents to know and start putting their bands in with us? Yeah. So I said, well, let's invite them. Let's get them up. We've got Dave's first club night. We'll get them here in the afternoon. We'll give them a tour, show them the backstage, show them the PA, show them the mixing desk, show them the lighting rig, and this is what we've got now. And this is the load-in, it's flat off the street, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And the things that matter to bands and, logistically, and, all that kind of improvements that we'd made. Yeah. And so we did, and so all these agents started coming in the afternoon. I was still up a ladder painting the last bits. And I was like, oh yes, let me show you, blah, blah, blah. And we just did it as a big PR thing with these agents, and then they hung around for the club night, and it was rammed, and there was a queue around the corner, and it was suddenly like, oh, actually, this is a place that's and it just, I think we'd had plenty of sold out nights and plenty of big gigs, but we'd had plenty of 2 men and a dog sort of gigs, like everyone had, and I think it was just Dave's. Zeitgeist at the time. He understood what he was doing. He knew how to promote. He was, in with all the right people. The right crowds would come down, and the right sort of people would be talking about it. Because in those days, of course, 1980s, you didn't have social media. It was literally word of mouth. Yeah. And like, oh, my mate's doing this night. Well, let's go down on Saturday. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, well, my mate's doing. Oh, my mate says his mate's doing this night. Yeah. And literally, that's how word got round and got a buzz about it. And it was great because you can't buy that. Yeah. Yeah. And you can't create it if it doesn't exist. You can't force it.
You had to be in the scene, didn't you? So you had to go in like Corbier's or the Dry Bar or certain bars and places to find out about stuff that was going on. Yeah. Yeah, you couldn't just go on Facebook, could you? Or,
yeah. Or you actually had to ring your mates and talk to them.
Yeah. When you left the Boardwalk, did you keep your connection with the music industry?
Not from a work point of view. Yeah. I did from a social point of view because my job had been sort of threefold really. You know, either booking the bands and doing the stuff, running the club, or tour managing some of the bands that Colin managed.
Yeah.
So I tour managed the Railway Children, a certain ratio. There was a band that he looked after called Thrush Puppies, from Northwich, I think. There was a band called from Malvern that his brother had found, who were like one of the Nwanwa bands, like New Wave of New Wave.
Yeah.
We did a co-headline tour with a band called Smash, who had a bit more success than Blessed Ethel was the name of that band. Awful name, but great band. Really, like, loads of energy and attitude on stage. They were great. There's another band from. There was a few bands anyway. So I used to tour manage them. So I'd be out and about, and then we also set up a little record label. And again, I want to say the name was my idea. Too Damn Loud was the name of the record label. So we did Pure Essence's first stuff. So tour managing them was quite a laugh as well. So I'd be out on the road or in the office or in the club. And if I wasn't doing any of those, I'd be at a gig or at a festival or at a, jibbing up and down from London to the distributors and, to the press people about doing a release on the label. So it was pretty full on, to be honest. I mean, my memory these days is awful. How the hell I kept all those plates spinning in those days, I really don't know. But and it was blooming good fun. When I was tour managing ACR, there was a girl singing backup with them, and that was Denise Johnson. So because we were the two girls on the tour, we shared a hotel room, and we just clicked. And as soon as we went over the border into Scotland, we both were talking these awful Scottish accents. And Donald one morning after, I think it was Edinburgh, and he was moaning at breakfast the next morning. He said, I couldn't sleep all last night. He said, all I could hear was like, and it was me and her just howling, laughing. And just, when you click with somebody and you just can't stop talking, we had such a laugh. So, I mean, she was my best mate. So, kept on going out to gigs, and I also spent quite a few years doing the managing the registrations for the In the City conference. So that was another few days of bloody hard work, but lots of fun. So
it's rare. It's really special when you click with people like that. It's like they're meant to come into your life. And then you end up like friends for life, don't you?
Absolutely.
There's a lot of love in Manchester for Denise.
And there's this blue plaque on the house that she lived in now. In fact, yesterday they put on the same people that organised that have managed to get one on the house that Diane Charlemagne used to live in.
Oh wow.
So all these fantastic and really prolific singers that had kind of gone under the radar to a degree in terms of nationally. And I mean, obviously Diane's died now and Denise has died now. But this means that the memory lives on. It's great.
They were both incredible singers. I didn't know, there's I think it's the first birthday hacienda, and there's a video on YouTube, and then I love 52nd Street. That's my favourite bit of it. And then I messaged Dave Aslam and said, well, do you know who the singer is? I didn't know it was Diane. And then I didn't realise that she sang on the Goldie track in A City Life. I didn't know that. Just an incredible singer, wasn't she? And it's good that there's a plaque and people are talking about her. So I think we're coming near the end now. I've completely lost track of the time. And I always like to end for a track from my Spotify playlist. So if you can think of a track that takes you back to your boardwalk.
Okay, it's going to be something by Spiritualized. So Spiritualized had been Spacemen 3 and they played at the Boardwalk. And then the first tour that they did as Spiritualized, they were the support band to Mercury Rev.
Yeah.
So this gig I mean, I was like, wow, but what an amazing gig. So Spiritualized were on. It's a support band. People are like, everyone sat on the floor, just like, you know, waiting for the headline band to come in. So I went glass collecting. It's like, oh, sorry, did I just kick you then? Oh, just pass me that pint pot, thanks. Oh, sorry, did I just kick you then? Just pass me that glass, thanks. And I just went round kicking the audience because they were sat on the floor. So I'm going to say my track for... I'm dithering now because there's millions of others.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say Spiritualized. Ladies and gentlemen, we are floating in space.
Amazing. I'm going to listen to that tonight. Yeah. So thank you so much.
Thanks for asking me.
Yeah, I'll just stop recording now.
Yeah.
There we go.